Yo, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get everything done. Let's address everything right now so that we can have a definitive take on everything. Of course, you guys have heard Stephen A. Smith come out in his elitist voice and come out and boastfully does an interview with Mad Dog Russo. And Mad Dog comes on the show, and once again, they play the narrative of attacking a colleague that worked there. I was like, now why? And that's supposed to be, something that's taboo. Like, you do not attack anyone that you used to work with or that you're currently working with, rather. Like, that's like forbidden. It's like we know better than that. They know better than that. The world could see it. It is what it is. But what I'm seeing now is a narrative of Stephen A. Smith continuously getting away with breaking the rules at ESPN. But he's saying, I just did an interview to ask me a question. I'm not dogging the human being. Now, he clearly talks about how he don't have power, but he basically threatened to leave the network, or not leave the network, but do something else on the show if they didn't want to agree to his terms with Max Kellerman. Like, he would go do something else, another show. But he felt, oh, this is at its end. Me doing this and all that stuff is at its end now. So when you start seeing different scenarios or different stories on what happened, it was kind of clear that it was divided, just like I told y'all before. Hold up. Alright, I know what that is. We got a snowstorm. So they coming through, getting everybody out of here. Well, not getting everybody out, but getting the snow out. But no, ESPN was divided. Nobody was feeling the situation that they were doing, or the whole tension that was between Max and Stephen A. You can cut it with a knife. The tension was deep, and everyone could see it, so that became a big issue. Now, when you start talking about best intentions, people love to talk best intentions for you. That wasn't what I intended. I had the best intentions. So he made it sound as if it was his decision to do everything. Like, I felt we needed something new. It's like, okay, if you felt like that, that's cool, but there's another man who basically took that job. So everything he got is on the line. So if you feel the show was stale and wasn't working, which it was stale, wasn't working. And the reason why the show was stale was mostly because of how they did the show every morning. And that was the problem. It had nothing to do with what they thought it was. The show was stale because they were stale. Max Kellerman is an analytical person. He likes to have some information. He's not somebody who's going to be very passionate about it. He just feels this is just how I feel about it. Not really passionate, but about this subject, but this is how I feel, and this is what I think about it. So it was no real attachment to it. Now, with the fans, that's not going to resonate over a lot with the fans of First Take because they're used to people like Skip, who is very opinionated. And with Skip being so opinionated, that narrative never goes away because Skip made a whole career out of just using his opinions, and basing them. And Stephen A, they got their passions about what they like and dislike. So when you got that as a narrative, you know right away what you like and what you dislike. And if somebody did something you dislike, you would feel a certain way about it. That's neither here nor there. So when he came about talking crazy on the show, now listen to what he says.
Skip. And so because of that, I felt like Max Kellerman was the right guy for the job. He worked within the walls of ESPN. He knew the culture. He knows the business. Highly intelligent, works hard, cares, etc., etc. So because of that, I knew that was the right man for the job at that particular moment in time. And, the bosses knew so as well. They highly recommended Max, and I wasn't going to go against the bosses on that one because I had no trepidation whatsoever about Max.
Now, the reason why you had no trepidations about Max is because that was the boss's decision. You said so in the statement. They recommended Max. And they recommended him because 1, he was under contract. 2, he was under contract. 3, he was under contract. So if you look at the situation, the key word here is he was under contract. Now, Max Kellerman is what they wanted to have on the show. Now you got a young guy on there who's not only passionate, well, not passionate, but he's very analytical and he's intelligent, like you said. So it wasn't really your decision, but you weren't going to go against the bosses. You were not in that position to go against the bosses. But you don't have a alpha male mentality. So by you not having that alpha male mentality, you fell into the same boat everybody else do. Okay, Bo, this won't keep you happy. Don't get you happy, I'm happy. We's a sick boss. So for you, it was very beneficial to have that happen in that format. But why do you keep mentioning Max Kellerman? Max Kellerman does not discuss you. He does his job. He's not even bothered by you. He ain't there no more. Cool. He will never be back on First Take. As long as Stephen A's there, he's never going to work with that guy again. And the whole place was divided. And I told people this. I said, look, this isn't going to work. And it's a big war going on over there because everybody could see what was happening. They was like, oh, they got problems. The ESPN writers were with Max. And a lot of them don't like Stephen A. So with that, all together, you were always going to have this discord. They were the ones going behind his back, leaking stuff out. So I didn't mind that he came out and said something to defend himself. But now, nobody's even talking about it. And here he is bringing it back up again. And now he mentions the fact that he even threatened to basically do something else if they weren't going to move him this time. He asked for Max to be moved several times because he saw what I saw. I knew ESPN had watched my videos back then because I saw the numbers go down, and I saw when ESPN got upset and wanted to do something because they saw one of my videos say something. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I knew the show didn't work back in 2017 when I said they should have kept Will Kane. Max Kellerman is not the good fit for Stephen A. Smith. It didn't take me 3 years to see it. Stephen A. knew it from the beginning, but he couldn't say nothing because he wasn't going to go against the bosses. He already done told you that. I'm not crossing the bosses. Whatever they finna say, this is what they feel. It works in their eyes, then I'm not finna question it. That's how it was. They weren't going to question anything. They was like, no way will we do that. Don't forget to follow at Kwame Brown Bust Life. Become a member of his. Don't forget to subscribe here and hit the notification bell. Subscribe to the page. Hit the like button. We just getting started, good people. Just getting started. On the Patreon, we do give you the uncut version of the Jay-Z Tata situation. That's the new hot thing on there right now. But let's stay with this. Stephen A. decides to double down. Right? Completely double down. Now, he realizes, and he mentions my video and said he laughed when I keep telling him about, the power that he has. He mentions it. Listen.
But the final call is not mine. I work for ESPN. It's not the number. It's not the other way around. Dave Roberts is my boss. Norby Williamson is my boss. Jimmy Pitaro is my boss. So I always laughed, especially in the recent months and in the aftermath of me signing my contract, and people talk about how much power I have and all of this other stuff. I've often laughed at that notion. It's not to say that I don't have any influence, but by influence, it means I have their ear, that they respect me enough in what I've accomplished.
Well, they're not going to give you...
Now, see, you hear him say he laughed at that notion. Now, the only person who was telling him about the power he had was my video in the last recent months. Chump, you did have power. You was too stupid to realize it. You was in a contract negotiation. You could have went to Fox. You had all the keys. But you too stupid because you're taught to obey. You don't think like an alpha. You want somebody to cut you a check. You don't want to have to go out and earn your check. You don't want to have to go out there and fight. You've been outside the house and you've been let in. Now you don't want to go back outside. I done been outside that house. I don't want to be caught outside no more. So a lot of people are saying, man, it's messed up what happened to dude. Stephen A. and all that. And he went through all that. But I'm like, if a company suspended me for no reason at all, and then keep suspending me whenever they feel like it, I mean, I would rather be my own boss. Why would I need you to tell me what to do for millions of dollars, and I can get millions of dollars doing my own thing on my own without having to report to you? Well, then that makes more sense, doesn't it? I don't like Whitlock, but Whitlock seemed to get it. Why would I be beholden to you if you're not going to pay me what I'm worth? You see, Whitlock knew one or two things. I know I'm cooning. I know all the buffoonery I'm doing, but I know y'all profiting off of my coonery. And I want to make sure I'm paid. So that was his position. Now, shouts out to Self Talk too. Don't forget, my Cash App is Carcino if you want to donate. Thanks to all you guys who have done so. And don't forget the Super Chat work all as well. Now, he talked about Max not being there no more. And the bosses listen to what he wants, but also their input matters because they make the final call. It's their show.
I think our time together has passed. If you want to keep him on the show and not me, and you want me to do something else that you think I could be more beneficial and more profitable for the company, et cetera, so be it. You think, but in the end, I knew that it was time for us to part ways. We had been together for 5 years. I've been doing this for 10 years. I got a feeling as to when something is going a bit stale and the audience doesn't seem to gravitate to us in the fashion that they used to. And that's what it is. And so when I looked at him, I said, the guy is smart as hell. He's done radio. He's done television. I know that he's going to be on his feet. There's no way on earth that he's going to get screwed over or anything like that. He's an incredibly good guy, very thoughtful, good person. And I think he's doing great things now. I think I've been proven to be right. I think that First Take needed a fresh start. That has been proven. And I also predicted that he would be incredibly successful, which he has been.
Now, with that said, you can hear in his tone that he's trying to cover all bases. It's like, but as far as me and him, it is done. Like, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. We've been together 5 years. After the 3rd year, let me go back to even before that. This had nothing to do with the ratings, really. It was the public perception. The public perception was that Max is more blacker than you. That don't sit well with a black man. When they tell him somebody else is black, is more blacker than them, they go, what the hell does that mean? They get real dumb. Now, he didn't like when that was mentioned. He didn't like the fact that Max snuck that on a show one time and says someone thinks that, somebody might say that another person is blacker than another one. He didn't like that either. It's a lot of infighting. And see, Stephen A wants to be the smart guy on the show. And with Max, he's not the smart guy. Max make him look dumb. And with Max making him look dumb, it hurts the overall perception of what you're trying to accomplish as, let's you say, a team. You're not connected. When you got conflict of dueling, you guys are not doing what's best for the show. You guys are trying not to piss the other person off because you don't really want to be there or you really don't like that person. The Molly aspect of it. How irritating she was to deal with. So this dynamic of this, all three of these guys there, it wasn't going to work. Stephen A didn't like the fact that all of Max's buddies, because that's all they were Max Kellerman's buddies, they're out there and they're just doing stupid stuff over and over again. All of his buddies, all them writers. So when he's seeing the reports, like they leaked the report of what he wanted to do and all that, he knew right away there is no friendship. Him and Max Kellerman never really had a friendship. They didn't like each other. And I tried to tell people that. Y'all thought I was joking. Y'all thought I was making stuff up. You're capping. You're doing all this. If it wasn't divided, trust me, when the ESPN wouldn't have made a move. They'd be like, look, deal with it. Like they told him to deal with it before. They was like, look, we ain't getting nobody else. Max got to be there. He's our squeaky clean white guy who can articulate things, and we got people that want to listen to the show that likes Max. But here's the thing. Max was becoming the black people's hero. The blacks was loving Max. They weren't liking Stephen A like that. They was like, wait a minute, we brought you in to get the brothers. Now, the brothers that went over to Fox. The brothers ain't watching the show no more. Notice how he slightly said the people are not gravitating to the show like they used to. No, because of you. They weren't gravitating to you. You became stale. You weren't becoming authentic. What you were doing was becoming a stick rather than they were seeing it. And then they had Shannon Sharp, who Shannon is more relatable to the brothers. So they like, hey, I'm listening to Shannon. I got Uncle Shannon. So you already had competition right away. And it was like, man, it was like the best decision Skip ever made. Was getting Shannon. We don't need two analytical guys debating. Skip and Shannon is better than Stephen A and Skip. Period. It's just the truth. I told y'all this was going to happen before they even aired one episode of Undisputed. Now, they did say, well, what's the relationship like with you guys? Or something like that, right?
Needs to end, and that's where I was.
Is the relationship good now between the two of you?
I wouldn't classify it as that. I wouldn't classify it as good or bad. We don't communicate, but we're very respectful towards one another. We say hi to one another when we see each other, but we go our separate ways.
And there it is. But we go our separate ways. Why is that? Thought these guys were brothers. Because Stephen A wants to be the only one to shine. That's it. He wants to be the only shining star in the whole thing. Everything got to center around him. Now he brought in Michael Irvin, somebody on Mondays, because you can't do 5 days of Michael Irvin. He got somebody who can outscream him. Cowboy. So when you got that guy going, like with no coffee, they be like, I just set the coffee cup down. He ain't even sipped it yet. He came in like that. He's sweating already, and it's 7. There's only been 2 minutes in the program. He in a pool of sweat already. So, hey, it is what it is, man. But I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to hold y'all too long. It's your boy Carcino saying thank you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button again. I'm out.